Hey everybody, hopefully you guys can hear me. Let's see here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh yeah. Oh, this is beautiful. Let's see. Oh yeah. Okay. All right. So it's time for the second installment of Office Hours. I know Eugene is going to be here eventually for these, but not today. He has a couple conflicts for these early ones, these early adopters. So today, hey John, great to see you. Hope you're doing good, buddy. Yeah. So I think Eugene's gonna be able to join me and then take over some of them starting in December. So some of them will be me, some will be Eugene, some will be both of us officing. So one of the things I wanted to talk about today was the way that I teach students of various ages and play abilities how to practice scales, basically, because I think it's a super useful tool to be able to know how to practice. And I think it's something that's not necessarily intuitive. It's something that takes a lot of practice itself, if that makes sense. So I'm going to do it with one of the easiest scales. Hey, Jim, great to see you. One of the easiest scales to do it with, which is the pentatonic scale. So if I take just the regular F minor pentatonic scale, and the first thing I have to be able to do is play that scale really well. So step one is learn the scale really well in one position. So I'm doing it in the key of F. For some people in the beginning, that's a difficult stretch. And then what I would probably do is move it around quite a bit. And so I often tell students to use what's called the circle of fourths to practice moving this around. So the circle of fourths is the opposite of the circle of fifths, right? So if you go a fourth away from C, each time you end up at a new key that's 4 letters away. And in the case of the circle of fourths, it's going to have flats in it. So that may be tricky for some folks in the beginning. So you could just pick random keys if that's too bizarre. But the first step is just to literally be able to go up and down it, which is pretty tricky in the beginning. And you guys can tell me, do you have trouble just flat picking something up and down? Because it's harder to flat pick something than it is to use a sequence or to use double picking a single note or some of those various kind of like more simplified approaches. So if I flat pick something, if I'm just playing each note one time, and I'm alternate picking, sorry. This tends to be kind of tricky for people in the beginning because that constant moving of strings without any repetition of the note is actually really challenging. So just heading up and down, and I would maybe pick a number and say, hey, I want to do this near perfect 5 times. And every time I don't do it perfect, I'm going to start over. It's the type of thing that might make you go insane, but at least you'll be able to play the pentatonic scale really well as you're being hospitalized. That's a little pentatonic mental health joke there. Anyways, it's tough on a Monday. So that's what I would do is try flat picking these. And then from that point, take the second position of the scale and come descend that position. And that's what's really going to help me be able to play all 5 pentatonic scales up and down the neck. So I can go over that a ton more, but I want to check in with the couple of folks that are here. Let me see. Do a little bit of this. There we go. Perfect. So what have you guys been up to? How's your playing been going? Anything that's troubling you lately? Anything challenging? Anything that's been tricky? Perhaps cuticle problems or ingrown nails, which I have no solutions for. I'll tell you one thing. If you play acoustic guitar your whole life, especially classical guitar, and you have to have these nails. For one thing, you're getting looks your entire life, right? And you're getting looks because, you know, it's just if you're gonna have nails, why don't you have them on both hands? And it's like, no, you don't understand, because I play guitar, and people are like, yeah, I get it. It's 2025. Just do what you need to do. But you can't really open a door. Like you have to learn how to use your right hand differently, assuming you're not left-handed. And so it's just the things you give up, you know, to be able to finger pick well are truly astonishing. All right, so Jim says, I'm working on Bach's Cello Suite number 1. Wanted to practice some finger style some more. That's great, Jim. Yeah. So in terms of, I'm going to tune this guitar just for sport. In terms of your finger picking ability thus far, did you have any kind of like formal approach to that at all, or you sort of just hammering away at it? And when I say that, sorry guys, the weather changed here in LA, and so all the guitars are shifting. I'll have to do that again. But oh, so Jim, I didn't know that. Yeah, and boy, when you break your thumbnail, it's really tricky. So have you guys learned the 2 or 3 types of finger picking styles on the right hand prior to this? Hey, Marilee, great to see you. No, you're good. I learned Travis style early on. Now working on classical Pima. Cool. So I'll tell you this. So, you know, I'm not necessarily, it hurts. Yeah, it does hurt. It's really one where you want to make sure you come to it from a relaxed state, because people tend to get injured a lot playing classical guitar and violin, etc. So make sure you just relax and enjoy and remember why you're doing it, because your body will not get into this sort of neurological state of discomfort when you do it. But that's probably the most important piece of advice. As far as the right-hand style, right? So there's 3 different approaches, and you may know some of this or all of it, so I apologize. There's what's called free stroke, which is where you're freely stroking through the string, and that's where I'm playing, which is kind of difficult on electric guitar. But notice my fingers are playing the string, and they're striking all the way through it. They're not stopping on another string. They're not bracing. They're not muting the string. And so that gives you a little hint about the other 2 types of strokes. So there's also what's called a muted stroke and then a rest stroke. And the muted stroke is where you're going to stop the string after each note. It's tricky on electric guitar. The bigger the string, the better on that. So you're stopping the string after each note. And this is really how you kind of develop those. This is why if you play classical guitar, you can step over to bass with some level of kind of technical ability, because you've been practicing all these techniques and they're really applicable to bass. So let's say it was that's all rest stroke. So again, the concept behind this very slowly is, if you just have one note, maybe we'll take 2 notes. We'll take G going to C. So G on the 4th string, C on the 5th string. And if I have, the way I'm stopping sound here is I'm playing the note and muting with the next finger. And that's called a rest stroke. You can tell I need to raise the action on this or do something to it, right? So that's a rest stroke. So that's probably the most, that's one of the ones that carries over the best into a lot of kind of like funk styles and to a bunch of other styles of music. But it's really great on guitar, because on classical guitar, because you only have so many ways to emote on classical guitar in terms of dynamics and approach. So I'm sorry, muted stroke. I said rest stroke, excuse me. That's muted stroke. Rest stroke is the other one, because free stroke is kind of obvious. You just pluck the string, right? Rest stroke is where you rest on the string behind you. So notice I've played that string and I've rested on the string behind. So play and rest on the 6th string. I'm playing the 5th string, I'm resting on the 6th string. So if you take just one note, what that's going to do is it's going to give a really, really pronounced and articulate sound, especially on an acoustic guitar. And maybe I'll go grab an acoustic guitar for this. But does that make sense? So those 3 types of strokes are really the important. Hey, Greg, great to see you. Those are the ones that are really important to attack. You know what? Hang on, guys. I'm going to grab an acoustic guitar. Stand by. Talk amongst yourselves. The Civil War was neither civil nor a war. Go. All right, sorry about that. Oh, golly, was this making noise the whole time? This is the most dysfunctional office hours in history. You guys showed up for a clown, and I gave you one. Jeez. Oh yeah, are you guys getting any gear for the holidays? That's a good question. Jim, you should be hosting this thing. And you tell me what to do, because no, I'm joking, seriously. That's a great idea. Who's getting cool stuff? Eric. Okay, you guys, Eric just got my reference. And Eric, that was kind of a B-side reference. So the fact that you got that tells me your 90s Saturday Night Live is strong. It's very strong, guys. So Eric knows. Eric knows that was a reference to Coffee Talk with Mike Myers. I don't remember the guest. Barbara Wawa. I don't remember who was on that time. But all right. So this is going through an electric guitar amp. So brace yourselves. So yeah, great question, Jim. Jim is asking, are we buying ourselves any? It's not your first reference there either. Yeah, so it's not, it wouldn't be hard to identify. The references are sort of pointing towards the same period. You're getting to Jamstick. Wow. That's cool. Well, so I have a bunch of MIDI guitars, you guys. I'll have to pull them down and do a show with a MIDI guitar. That'd be awesome. Oh, John, you're the one that sent me, is it Madonna that was on with that? That would be hilarious. John, you're the one that sent me that MIDI, or mentioned that MIDI video. That's right. So the Jamstick, that's going to be awesome. So we'll have to do a MIDI. I'm still waiting for MIDI guitars to get popular again. You know what I mean? I'm probably going to be waiting for a while. But it could happen. It could happen. So, all right, who else is getting anything for? Obviously, we're buying ourselves gifts at this point. I guess maybe if you're married, maybe somebody's buying you a gift out of duress, under duress. But no. So an EHX Swello pedal. I don't know what that is. I say that right? Swello? EHX Electro-Harmonix Swello. Huh. It's from the Squire. Oh, that's cool. A guitar, but it's from the Squire from a rock band. Oh, that's great. It was a Squire from Rock Band. Got it now. Oh, I get it. It's from the video game Rock Band, huh, Eric? Can you guys hear this? Yeah, you could make your guitar sound like anything. I mean, we can argue about how authentic that sound is, but it does sound like it. So I'll tell you guys, that's what we'll do. We'll do a whole MIDI guitar show. That we've got to do it. We've got to do it. So the challenges with MIDI guitar. Thanks, Jim. The challenges with MIDI guitar are tracking, and so products that are made directly for MIDI guitar, like the Jamstick, for example, are going to track much better than guitars that have been modified to be MIDI guitars. And there are exceptions to that. You have a Brian Moore. You have a Brian Moore. Wow, man. And a Godin compatible with the G. Is it only compatible with GR55 or anything? Because it has a MIDI out, right? So it could technically work with. I might get an Epiphone 345 Back to the Future. Well, that'd be awesome. That's great, Greg. Is that the one that has the floating tailpiece? I think, right? Or it depends on maybe. So I was going to show you guys. Keep listing what you're getting, by the way, for the holidays. Yeah, no, they do sound great. If it's I'm sure it's the one I'm thinking of, by the way, and they sound amazing. Is it the John Lennon guitar? I'm not sure if it's the right one. Okay, so what you could do with that muted technique is you could create these really directed multiphonic, or polyphonic sounds. So you can have a very pianistic approach. So imagine a piano where the left hand is holding out notes and the right hand is playing more kind of a muted approach, right? So you have gling, dick, 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 gling, dick, dick, dick. If you hear that type of a sound, means some of the notes are supporting and they're maybe in the bass line, and some of the notes have that muted approach, and that's where you really start to get to a pianoistic sound on a guitar. And people find it really tricky in the beginning, so you got to simplify whatever you're doing in the left hand. So it's a great thing to do with scales. So if you're starting out with scales and maybe just play a major scale or a pentatonic scale, and you just play each note, free stroke 4 times, muted stroke. Yeah, that's right. He was a Casino Coupe guy. Thanks, Meryl. See, if Marilee, if Eugene was here, he would give me a lot of flack for that. Just so you know, I would get you guys don't see it, but I get looks like, how can you not know? And it's like, what am I, an archivist, Eugene? I mean, I don't have PBS, man. No. Okay, sorry. Let me get caught up here. So, Eugene or Greg says, I heard they sound great. Oh, that's the Epiphone. Yeah. So you guys are in the game series. Best MIDI guitar, huh? Next gives an interesting unplugged sound. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the Godins were pretty squared away. What I did with MIDI guitars was I would use a DAW to work the tracking a little bit, so that I ended up getting relative note lengths, but the Roland sort of does that for you. Todd, man, the Jason Isbell is definitely a grab. As far as if you guys want a guitar that would cost a lot more than that, I mean thousands and thousands more in terms of build and components, that's a Jason Isbell Telly is a win. John says, I've been trying to resist getting the Gretsch. Yeah. So the Ibanez I'm familiar with. The Gretsch I've played the Gretches that I was in love with, and I played ones that I didn't like the way they played at all. So it definitely depends on the guitar. Usually the Ibanezes are set up pretty good. It's just the setup. Sometimes on the Gretches, you have to take them down to somebody and have them set up, Marilee, isn't it? And it's a looker, too. Golly, it's a looker. Eric says, I try not to duplicate, so I need to justify why something is different enough for me to want something else. Fortunately, I'm able to be consistent with what I have, which is good for yeah. I think notice we're talking about Thanksgiving gifts. There's still going to be a guitar for Christmas, you guys. So, so I mean, you could, this is where you can, not as interesting as answering this sort of question, though. I agree. You know what? Can I tell you guys what I want to get? Since this is an Offender event, I really want to get a custom SG that has a vibrato on it. And it's got to be a vibrato that works really well because I'm actually going to use it. So if Santa shows up for me, no, I might just have to spend the bread and get one. But so what did I play? I played a couple of things recently where, one of them was a Mike Furlong. So it's a Tom Petty tribute, and you really can't do it without an SG. I did it with a Telly the whole night, but it's like, I need an SG for this. You can't do Tom Petty without an SG. So Marilee, different colors, different. So Marilee's lowered the bar here, folks. If you simply select a different color, that counts. That counts. I think you're onto something, Marilee. I think Marilee, you should be working for the guitar manufacturers because that sounds like a good one. No, I mean, so I would do a Bigsby. I don't see the Bigsbys as much. So they're both really temperamental, you guys. Bigsby would probably stay in tune better, but either one of them, it's like you really have to work with them. Either one of those guitars, you have to lube up the nut. Easy. It's a family show, but you have to use a lot of making sure you're not getting stoppage anywhere through the string slides. So it can be really tricky to keep those in tune. But I would do a Bigsby, John. I don't see as many with a Bigsby though that I like, and I'd want a custom shop SG. So yeah, different colors. I've also heard of different tunings too. Well, you can't. What am I supposed to tune the guitar, set it down, and then have to tune it again just to play? I'm gonna need another guitar. Duh. Everybody knows that. It's the Barbie factor. Is Rickenbacker for every color they make it, Jim? That is well, wait a minute. How many colors do they make? I know they make white and black. Do they make a lot more than that? So it may only be 2. Use a duplicate for every different. Absolutely. Well, I mean, if you guys were on tour, they would do that. A lot of times they build like custom guitars for the tours. So there you go. Is it just 2? It's the white and black? You guys are cracking me up. Any excuse to buy a guitar. I don't blame you. It makes me happy. No, but yeah, SG Bigsby would be great. I'll do a vibrato, but it's gotta stay in tune, you guys. He has 12 Rickenbackers, you guys. That's like, that is, wow. Thanks, Greg. You know what? So some of the folks that I worked with at Fender work at Gibson now, and I think they would probably give me a deal if I wanted one. You know what? I have this thing where I have to go and fall in love with a guitar. So I only really buy them in person. If it's a big purchase like that. And sometimes you can't buy guitars. If it's a new guitar, you don't have a shot. You have to buy it off the internet or at a store. But yeah, it's usually I'll play a guitar and I can't stop playing and I'm like, okay, I have to buy this. And so there's some impulse purchases in there because of that. Rickenbackers are a very unique thing to own that many of. That's a very branded thing. Wow. I like Rickenbackers, though, by the way. I have a wild story about Rickenbackers. When I was a kid, there was a guy down the street. This is in Oakland, and the guy has. I play music with his son, and this is a pretty. This is like a low income area, and like his dad had a Rickenbacker bass, and it was a big deal. And we borrowed the bass, and we were playing. And we had borrowed it many times, and we broke the string on the bass, and man, it was not good, you guys. It was it was bad. It was very bad. It wasn't quite Joe Jackson bad, but it was bad. It was pretty close to Joe Jackson bad. So I don't know. Maybe I have some Rickenbacker trauma there. You know, something to work out there. Maybe. Is it Dinesh you're thinking of, Greg? Is that who it is? He posted on. Yeah, I saw that post, John. So we'll have to do a show on a baritone guitar because I was thinking about that the other day. It was like, well, you know what? Why don't we do a show on baritone guitars? We should do one on mandolins. I think that would be a ton of fun. Yeah, we broke a bass string. And it was the low E string. And I'll tell you what, guys, there was probably some heavy petting going on with us in that bass. I mean, we were really into it, but we were also like, I don't know, 10. And so there may not have been the same level of frontal lobe engagement regarding how the bass was handled. And maybe it was, grabbed by the string, if you will. And I think his response was to grab us by the string, Broke a bass string. Yeah. I'll never forget that. A Jewish vendor extended the discount to... So they don't? Huh. Boy, I don't know how any of that works, guys. I wish I was a good answer on you. I wish I knew more about how that stuff works. John, you might try reaching out to customer service and saying, hey, I really want to buy a Gretsch blank, but I want to use my discount. Is there anything you can do? And they might not do anything, but they're surprisingly malleable for you guys. I didn't even know there was such a thing, Jim, as a Mando cello. I've never even heard of that before. There's a Mando cello? Wow. I've never even heard of that before. Wow, that's wild. Well, so I'll tell you what, you guys. I think most people, Greg, do. I think most people like buying them. Plus, Dylan, they could say Dylan who? Yeah, exactly. They'll be like, Dylan what? You don't know Bob Dylan. You tell them Dylan sent you, they'll be like, oh, that's not gonna help your favor at all. I didn't know that. There's a couple Eastwood guitars that I've played where I was like, this is a fantastic guitar. If you guys ever want to check out an amazing hollow body guitar, I think they're called Benedettos. They're absolutely amazing, but Eastwoods make some fantastic stuff. I got it in my head that I wanted a Dobro resonator. They're back ordered. Oh, and then your health went sideways, so you canceled it. Were you looking at a wooden Dobro or a legit like all metal Dobro, Merrily? I got a Dobro when I was, I don't know, I wasn't that young, but you know what it was? It was because of CCR. I was like, I gotta have a Dobro because the album cover. I mean, you guys remember what it was like when you just had albums and you would make serious life decisions based upon album covers. You had to infer a lot about the artists you like. And Bad Moon Rising, he has the Dobro on the front of it. There's a Dire Straits album with the dobro on the front of it too. Yeah, I really like playing dobros, by the way. I mean, one argument to buy guitars is they make you play differently. Like each guitar makes you play a little bit differently. So if you have, oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's perfect. The metal ones are pretty heavy, so that's one thing I was gonna say. If they're a legit one, they're so pretty expensive. But they make you play so differently that having one of every kind. So if you had to have a guitar of every kind, I guess I would want to make sure I have, without offsets and all that, I definitely would want a Strat, a Tele, like a Les Paul. Obviously, I'd want an SG. I don't own an SG at all, but I'd want a vibrato, and then you need a nylon string guitar. You need a steel string guitar. You might need a 12-string guitar. What else? Maybe maybe a guitar with a Floyd Rose on it is a must-have. And then I think that's about it. Is there an absolute? I mean, this is like you have one of every kind of the major guitar, so you can make that particular tone, because that's definitely a big part of it too. You guys, I've delivered albums to work, and the team of writers that I work with at Sony Extreme, one of them is like, "Do you own a Les Paul?" And so they could tell it was a bunch of Strats or Super Strats or whatever. Bass and mini bass. Yeah, no, well, yeah, absolutely. Mini bass for the road. So semi-hollow, I think, yeah. Yeah, the pinginess of a hollow body. You can definitely hear that. The Dusseldorf would be a good semi-hollow to have, or unless you're going to have like a 335. Those just hurt my shoulder when I play them a long time. Eugene has a big tour coming up with ZZ Top playing in my hometown. I didn't know that. Is it Dwight's touring with ZZ Top? Where's your hometown, Greg? Oh, Grand Island, Nebraska. Got it. That's fantastic. Wait, didn't one of the ZZ Top brothers die recently? I thought I read that one of them died. Well, that's cool that they're still touring. Hell yeah, there is. It's a Grand Island. I've been to Nebraska a couple times. It was actually really, really gorgeous. Vast. A lot of farming and clean air. Eugene hadn't mentioned anything about that to me. That's great. Oh man. So John, I had a Parker Nightfly. I had two of them back in the day. I just broke so many strings on them. I don't know. My problem with the Parker was it didn't sound like any famous guitar. So it didn't sound like a Strat. It didn't sound like it's definitely its own unique thing. They are really cool though. And both of the ones I had piezo pickups in them. So I used to have an AB box, and you could send an acoustic signal out or an electric signal out. It was fantastic, actually. Yeah, but I broke so many E strings. Sometimes I remember cases where, yeah, Dusty Hill died. That's right. So they have somebody sitting in for Dusty Hill then. Oh, really? Wow. Well, that's cool that it's Dwight Yoakam and ZZ Top, though. I mean, that's kind of a really eclectic combo. I saw ZZ Top a billion years ago, and it was freaking awesome, by the way. Like, the show is just so good. Stupid good. I also love ZZ Top, so that helps. Cheap Sunglasses is probably my favorite ZZ Top song. Yeah, guys. Well, hey, listen. We have a show coming up on Wednesday. I actually wanted to do Outlaw Country, and Eugene wanted to continue on the annals of grunge and do Pearl Jam 10. So I wanted to break it up, but Eugene said no. So we're doing Pearl Jam 10. This should be pretty great because it is an influential album, and it's definitely a big album for me. I would say, well, Dwight is a, well, anyways, get me started. I might get a, Dwight's like the real deal, though. Yeah. Yeah, that's a great idea, Eric. Yeah, the turkey song, all those Thanksgiving Pearl Jam classics, No, but it's for Pearl Jam 10. I'm not sure if Eugene has sent out the show invite yet, but Waiting on the Bus, Jesus Just Left Chicago. I played those ones so many times in cover bands that they're a bit ruined for me, but not because when ZZ Top plays them, I'm sure I would love them. I mean, obviously, and she's got legs. I don't have a synth here, but yeah. So, Rory, hey, how you doing? It must be late over there. Oh no, it's Alive, Jeremy, Once. What else is on that album? Release Me. It's a different style of music, but than what we normally necessarily talk about. But that is now classic rock, you guys. Can you believe that? I remember when I was a kid and Van Halen became classic rock, and people I grew up with were like, can't believe Van Halen's classic rock. And now Pearl Jam is classic rock. So take that one. The flannel has been retired. So I told him to get his flannel out. So we'll see if he actually gets it out. You guys can tell me if he gets it out. But well, anyway, so check out free stroke, rest stroke, and muted stroke, right? So if you guys are playing guitar sometime this week and you're doing a little finger style, pick one string and work on doing free stroke on a single note, maybe with I and M. Then work on rest stroke, where you rest on the string behind you. Rest on the string behind you. And then muted stroke, where you stop the string with the next finger. And then once you can do it on a single note, you start taking it up a scale. And if we work on that, we can start to get the tremolo down. Sort of classic better steel string. But those are all precursors to that in Raschiato. Queen's We Are the Champion is 50 years old. Wow. That's wild. I'll tell you, you know how every generation says, every generation's parents don't like their music. I genuinely do not like some of the new music, you guys. And it's like, it's a visceral reaction that I have no control over. I if I wanted to be cool, it'd be better if I got a face tattoo or something, because the music where if there's like electronic drums that never change, and if there's no choruses, and if we're complaining, I'm out. I'm tapping out. I'm out. And it's me. I'm the problem, by the way, not the songs. But for me, I just can't connect to it. And a song like We Are the Champions, if you go back and you listen to Queen's music, it's just such, there's such, kind of unbelievable opus de grandes, if you will. So it's that level of craftsmanship was really quite John took oud lessons for a few months before my daughter was born. All downstrokes were taught as breaststrokes. Oh, and all upstrokes were taught as free strokes. Wow, John. Oud lessons, you guys. John, you're a bohemian. There's layers to you. And Marilee, I swear, it's not, I don't have any problem with the bunny. I'm cool with the bunny, right? I don't connect. Don't connect. I don't know what else to say. I don't connect. It seems, and, keeping it totally apolitical, it'd be nice if they threw in a little love for all generations. That's all. That's all I'm saying. At the Super Bowl, I'll leave it there. Just a little love. Just so and by the way, if you were young, throw a little love just so you don't have to hear the crap from your parents and grandparents complaining the whole time. So they get a little piece, you get a little piece, everybody's happy. That's all. No problem with the bunny. The bunny, be the bunny. Do bunny it up. Bunny away. Hop around. But yeah, it just doesn't connect with me. But hey, that's my problem. It's nothing wrong with the bunny. Talking about my generation. No, I'm surprised we're here. But there's a really good episode of South Park, you guys, about this. I won't describe it because it's inappropriate in nearly every way that anything could ever be inappropriate. However, no, absolutely, Roy. There's definitely outliers. I would say Marcus King is an outlier for me. Many outliers, by the way. Even what's the band that sounds like Led Zeppelin? It's not Led Zeppelin, but it sounds like Led Zeppelin. Kinda, not really, but Grace something or darn it. Anyways, even that band, I can sit through that just fine. But man, some of the other stuff, I'm like, this is not getting under my. I'm not. Anyways, so I hope you guys can come Wednesday because we're gonna have a blast. Yeah. There's quite a few. Yeah, I think there's quite a few, and the other thing is like, that's it, Jim. That's an interesting name. There's got to be like a Leonard Skinner roots to that name. So hopefully you guys can join us Wednesday because we should have a blast, and there'll be all kinds of Pearl Jam 10 trivia. Not really. Maybe we'll have trivia. What was Eddie Vedder's flannel? Wool or polyester for the wedgie? No, but hopefully you guys can join us on Wednesday, and we'll pick up from there. We should have a good time. And then I'm thinking I will probably start doing some handouts for these office hours. But really, I just want to be able to let you guys ask questions or talk about whatever you want to talk about too, though. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I thought you didn't know who the Super Bowl performer was until like the week of. I don't know why you got to announce it way ahead of time. That's so everybody can get used to the. Exactly, Greg. So I think it's cool. I'm good with it. There's particular artists that I'm really, really digging that are newer, obviously. But I mean, I don't know. I'm getting now. See, look, I'm getting get off my lawn vibes to you guys now. What am I doing? You know what? Eugene is. I can't remember what he said. He has something he has to take his daughter to today. He wanted to come both times, but he had conflicts both times because I sort of just sprang this on him and said, "I want to start more days of the week, more check-ins, more content, and all that." So. Because I gotta get Eugene has no retirement. Well, maybe he does. I don't know. But we'll have to plan something for him to be able to stay clued in. And everybody, we're all just we'll start our own retirement home, Dylan and Eugene's retirement center, where we mostly just buy guitars. Oh, wow. Yeah, no, that makes sense, Jim. I mean, I think there's a bunch of there's Leela Hathaway's really good. Yeah, Mark Spear. There's a bunch of, I mean, the musicianship level has gotten through the roof. The average kid can play their instrument in a way that only the top players could play back in the day in terms of technique. Their experience level and their ability to maybe write songs or to, tell them how to do people. Well, you know what? I actually wanted to do Outlaw Country on Wednesday, but he wanted to continue the grunge thing because I think it's a fun thing to do to kind of deep dive on that stuff because it's a really interesting period of time. Oh, Marcus, yeah. Marcus King is damn good. He played over here with Corey Henry and a couple other people at the Blue Note, which is literally stone's throw from my place in Hollywood, and it was fantastic, you guys. All right, guys, I'm looking forward to seeing you Wednesday. Everybody, make sure you guys take care of yourselves and consider those guitar purchases very carefully, right? Let's not just, we don't want any regretful buyer's remorse around the time of Thanksgiving, right? And for those of you that aren't in the U.S., actually most countries have some type of a holiday near here. Eric Gales is so awesome. Isn't Eric? Yeah, but I don't even consider Eric Gales a new artist because Eric Gales was around for a long time before that too. Thanks, Jim. Thanks to everybody for coming out. And we're looking forward to, well, for one thing, we're looking forward to having Eugene at these. And Eugene will do some of these on his own too. So you guys will get some variety. But thank you guys so much. Have a great day. Have a great rest of your evening. I know most of you are on at least in Mountain Time. And Rory, get some sleep. Thanks for being here, buddy. Be interested to see what guitars you pick up here. Never regret a guitar purchase. Thanks, John. I'll see you guys soon. Have a great rest of the night, and I'll see you on Wednesday. Take care of yourselves.